Okay, so I am creating an overview of APAI just to get a features rundown. I'm going to use this video to edit it down and have like a features overview. So uh, let me log out, okay? And this is the landing page where you can find out about all the features. It's at equilibrium.technology / lowercase AP dash uppercase AI. I will have the link in the description. So I'm going to log in, and what you see initially, if you haven't ever used it before, there won't be any threads in here. But if you make a prompt and you soft submit it, it adds it to the list of threads, and you'll see that the message has been put into a subthread. If you select it, you can make, I did a soft submission. I'll explain the difference in a second. So you can make another soft submission to the same thread. Soft submissions are submissions that you made to a conversation that do not process through an AI. So, but if you do another submission and you do the little paper airplane icon, that'll submit it to the AI, and that'll actually process. It's like I'm sending it nonsense, so it seems like your messages are a bit jumbled. If you have a specific question or topic you'd like to discuss, feel free to share. But we're just doing a demonstration here. So you notice that you can individually delete prompts and replies. And in the drop down here, we've got, I'm not going to open this, but we've got the area where you configure your API keys for the various companies. Then you can also, in the user profile, you can set the default model for renaming threads, for summarizing threads, and for prompting. So that'll set a default model for prompt, but if you select a specific one, it'll use that one. And also in the profile modal here, you can back up all your threads, and you can load backups, and you can also merge in backups. So you could have it running on multiple browsers, and you can merge them together, keep all your conversations backed up. All of the threads are stored with local storage, so it's actually stored in the browser. So let's look at the top bar here. So you can hard delete a conversation. You can export as a PDF or print the conversation. You can share it to social media, and you can, let's see. Also, you can rename a thread, and you can generate a name based off of the conversation of the thread. So if you have a whole conversation going, you can hit generate, and if you set a default model, it will use that model to summarize the thread into a name. There is also a summary field at the top of each conversation, which can be hidden individually, or you can use this feature right here in the control bar, and that will hide it from all conversations. You see how it went red? If you hit the icon there, it'll show it again. But there's a way to hide them all in all threads, but you can also reveal them per thread. So you could hide it in this one, not hide in this thread. But the summaries are essentially, if you have a long conversation going, there's only one entry in this one, but if you go to the summaries modal, you can generate a summary, and it's not going to generate very much because there isn't very much a conversation going on here, but it generates a summary of that thread, which is handy for like when you have a whole bunch of long conversations going and you want to be able to quickly know what's in them. You can generate a summary. You can also manually edit it, and it automatically saves. You can also copy the entire conversation, and you can also copy raw, which means that it will capture the markdown formatting, which is the direct like shorthand language that's used to format the responses from the AI. You can also duplicate a thread. So if you confirm that you're duplicating it, it'll pop up here at the bottom. And so that's very handy for when you have a conversation and it starts, you might want to reuse it in some way. You can quickly duplicate threads. And you can also, let's see, what have we not covered here? Looks like we've covered a lot of them. So let's say you create a thread and you got a reply in it that's useful, but you don't want to use it in that thread. So you can select the sub thread item or the prompts or replies, and then you could split that into a new thread. So these are essentially productivity tools for being able to, you could create a thread, have a whole long conversation with it. There's going to be useful items within that conversation. And if you only want to have certain items from that conversation put into a new thread, you can select them. Like if there's multiples in here, you can, let me add just another one to it. You can select the two here and split it into a new thread. And that is extremely useful. One of the biggest things that you'll notice early on when using the mainline AI platforms is that there's not really a good way to chunk down your threads into manageable sizes. And often the AI will give you tutorial-like instructions, and as the conversation's getting longer, like the useful information just kind of gets lost in the mess. So I started creating a way so that you can be able to split things into new threads, rename them, give them a summary, and as well, a big feature in APAI is that you can see this static accordions right here and static subaccordions. Well, you can make them draggable, and so now you can grab a thread and reorder it, and that helps you prioritize your threads and subthreads. So let's go back up to the control bar here, and this is like an either or type thing. You're either reordering conversations or you're reordering prompts and replies. So you can rearrange the prompts and replies in the conversation itself. And that's another super handy thing for being able to do when you have massive conversations going. So let's see, what else? So we can duplicate a particular prompt and reply, and we can also edit that in the editor here, and it gets saved. So you can then, trying to think of like use cases. So say you get a reply and it's mostly good, but you want to change a few details. Well, prompts and replies are not like some static thing. You can actually go in and edit them. It's got a full, what you can see is what you get. Editor in here with, it also uses markdown formatting. So you can change it up, copy it, or share it to social media. And that way you just have like much more powerful tools for dealing with your prompts and replies. You can also soft delete prompts and replies. So let me do that. See how it basically became a ghost? It's still there. Soft delete essentially means that it is not included in the queries to the AI, but it's still present. So you can always, you can make certain items soft deleted, and then you know that when you, as you add to this conversation, as you ask more questions from the AI, it's not going to be reviewing that information. So you can kind of selectively bring things in and out of the conversation and reorder it. And you can just employ more powerful strategies while dealing with the AI, because as your conversations get longer, the quality of the replies start going down. You want to keep the information that you're providing to the AI succinct, not only so that it's processed, that it's giving you optimum results, also so that you're just not burning up tokens for no good reason. And because this platform has a multitude of AI clients available to it, that you put in your API keys with the configure modal right here, and you probably have certain models that you'll use in some situations, and ones that you that are less token expense heavy, so that you might pick and choose what you're processing with what model. So let's see. These controls right here are for affecting prompts and replies. So these ones apply to these selectors. So you can select multiple items and apply that action to multiple prompts and replies. And there's a similar functionality that happens with the threads themselves. See the green selector here? You can select multiple conversations, and then in your prompt input, you can send a prompt to both of them at the same time. So think about how you can make a conversation. You can set out particular goals for that conversation, and then you can duplicate that conversation, add a unique prompt to just that one, do that like 10 times, and so now you got 10 conversations going, and you select all 10 of them, and then you can send submissions to all of them at once. And that way you can just like be hyper productive in terms of just like stacking your prompting strategies. So then these controls right here are for affecting for this conversation, and the controls up here are for affecting selected conversations. And similarly, as you select certain conversations like this, then when you make a prompt and you soft submit it or hard submit it, or submit to the AI. So soft submit works similar how soft delete works, in that not so much that it's not processed by the AI eventually, but you don't, every time you add something to a thread, you don't have to have it processed by the AI. So we can add, I'm going to regret that because I'm going to have to go back and delete all those, but you can add a prompt to these 3 conversations all at once, but it didn't process it using the AI. In that way, you can keep your token count down by kind of like adding your ideas as they occur to you. When you're adding 10 files to a conversation, you don't need to have the AI process it every time. You only need it to process it once you've given it all the information that you feel is necessary to enhance that conversation. So let me go back and delete these. And so select this, and we can use the delete here. Oh, did it not delete? I'm gonna have to troubleshoot that. But there's also the alternative here. You can delete it there and delete it here. And there's confirmation on all the deletes, so that you're safely doing these actions. And let's see. So yeah, I noticed that when you the subaccordion button bar controls delete not working. So I will update that tonight and get that working. So I can just immediately capture an idea of something that I need to, like, if you look at my threads, you notice that these are all things that are ideas for adding to the app itself. I use my app to work on my app. It's got app inception going. Let's see. So is there anything I haven't covered? Let's go over the prompt input. So as you put in a prompt, you can clear the input, and let's say this is real long. it has a scroll built in. And let's see, you can also, if you got a prompt that you're putting in here, you can save the prompt, and then you can go to the prompts here, and you can see that it's in here. I'm working on this currently. I have made 30 different prompting strategies, so you can add a prompting strategy to it. This tab is always present. You can't close it, and it shows the prompt, but it also shows you the collective prompt overview, which means that as you add tabs to it, as you put stuff into these tabs, it will then consolidate into here, and then you can inject that into the prompt input, or you can send it to a new conversation. And if one is already selected, it'll send it to that conversation. So if none are selected, it's going to create a new conversation. If nothing is selected, it's going to, sorry, if none of them are selected, it'll create a new thread. And if a particular one is already selected, and then you submit a soft submit over here, it'll send it to that particular one, or you can have it processed by the AI. There's also features here for reordering the prompts. You can change, these are all in accordion, so they're all collapsible, and you can look at the whole list here. But you can change where the accordion is in the list. Let's see, so you can also duplicate a prompt. So so we can create, if we already have a prompt that we really like, it's got a whole bunch of tabs loaded into it, we can duplicate that one and then modify the prompt that's in it, and then reuse it. Let's see, I have been working on this functionality for a bit, and I just have a handful of these working currently, but I'm adding a few every day, and so we're soon, not very long from now, we're gonna have 30 of them, and some of them are really quite exciting. So like we got the 5 whys, chain of thought, comparative analysis, first principles, paradox exploration, reflection, creative. So these it's got categories, and then it's got the items in it: mind map, contextual expansion, creative reimagining, hypothetical scenario, reverse thinking, critical questioning. Let's see. So just got a whole ton of these, and I'm really quite looking forward to just having that integrated into my whole workflow. And as you notice, as you remove tabs, then it removes them from the prompt overview. But and we can also delete ones that we don't want. And I will do that for the junk ones that I've made. And I'll probably just keep that one. You can also attach a file, and that injects it into the prompt input, and you can also clear out your prompt input. If you put something in here and then you reload the page, it's going to remember the prompt input, so that way, if for some reason you get disconnected from the internet, or you accidentally reload, or the page refreshes, then it'll still be present. Let's see, what else here? That looks like all I'm going to cover in this video. I'm trying to think, is there anything? I tried to design this so that as you scroll, as you're looking through your conversations, the header automatically hides. And if you have the top control bar open and you scroll up, it'll just show the items that you've revealed in the control bar, so they're always handy. The drop down shows all the various models and their inputs and outputs. And let's try to think, is there anything else here? Now, I'm in the admin mode, so not all these features will be available to everyone. But the main takeaway here is that you can set your default models for renaming, for summarizing, and for processing prompts. But this is the default. If you haven't selected anything in the dropdown, it will use the default. But otherwise, you have to select a model that you want it to use. Let's see. It seems like we've got the overall done here. Cool. Gonna stop the